Ladies and gentlemen, this YouTube channel vlog show is of authenticity, inspiration, and realness. It is also about personality, good times, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And now, here is your host of the show, Mr. Big Beefy E himself, the elder statesman of Rant and Rave, and Mr. Shenanigans himself, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, where I talk about everything from video games to game show, do my game show gameplays, video gameplays, and talk about a little bit of wrestling and what's been going on as of late. And as you know, the holiday season is here, and it's doing very, very well so far. And Thanksgiving is over with, and now everybody's getting their Christmas decorations up and getting ready for parties and whatnot, and Christmas shopping for gifts and what have you. But there's some stuff that's been going. There's been stuff that's still going on in the wrestling world, and we're talking about NXT, and we're going to talk about NXT right now. As you know, it's the final NXT of November 2023 as we head into December, and in fact, a week from this Saturday will be NXT Deadline. You know, the Iron Survivor Challenge. There's 2 matches going on in that department. But there is some unfinished business to deal with. As the family in the Garza Dynasty, the family that would be Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, the NXT Tag Team Champions, going up against the Garza Dynasty, as I like to call them. It'll be Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, the 2 cousins. They were brawling to kick off NXT, and the tag team titles were on the line. Both teams fought back and forth, and the family ended up retaining the tag team championships. So, what does the Garza Dynasty go from here? What does the family go from here? Well, who knows for sure. If the family keeps this up, they could be the longest reigning NXT tag team champions. But I think that record belongs to either the Ascension. I think that record belongs to the Ascension, so somebody's going to break that record for the longest reigning tag team championships. And Nathan Frazier, and actually, we're talking about the differences between Baron Corbin and Ilya Dragunov. And he said, listen, Baron Corbin's got the good light, Ilya Dragunov. And Ilya Dragunov thought, Nathan Frazier was being just a little bit disrespectful. And Nathan Frazier said he's trying to explain, the difference and everything else. And he admitted that he would love to live Corbin's life. But then Ilya Dragunov, as we know, just comes down to, doesn't it? So, be a matchup between the two gentlemen in the middle of the ring, and so Jerry King Lawler. I talked a little bit about this yesterday for the Raw, for the Raw report. Raw events that he chose Braun Breaker and Eddie Thorpe to go one-on-one. Kaylani joining Kiana James goes one-on-one in Iron Survivor qualifier matches. The women's Iron Survivor qualifier challenge qualifier match came up first, and Kaylani Jordan versus Kiana James. But before that match happened, Country Grit was talking about Josh Briggs' victory to get inside the match, and Alexis King interrupts them, starts stirring up some trouble between Briggs Jensen and Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, and then he says, "Well, we'll find out how good you are tonight because, Brooks Jensen will go one-on-one with you." And he said, "Yeah, okay, fine, it'll be a party then." And they told him, "You got this." And that lovely curvaceous minx, Nikita Lyons, is in attendance tonight, and it looks like she's showing off her progress. Rehabbing that leg of hers, and only a matter of time that curvaceous minx herself will be heading back into the ring. A lot of people think, "Oh, nobody cares." Listen, the Kill Alliance is good. She's been injured, and she has yet to really show off her true potential, and that is going And when she comes back, she's really, really going to go to town on the women's division. So if I were the women's division, watch your backs. Lyra Valkyria, you may be the women's champ, but one day you're facing that young lady, Nikita Lyons, and when she gets you in that ring, you better be ready to combat her because she'll be going after that women's championship sooner or later. Once she gets back from her injury, she'll go right back to the top. And I would not be surprised if Ariana Grace keeps running her mouth and Nikita Lyons shuts her up. And Kiana James, too, for that matter. But I'm sure she's been going after the one person that put her on the shelf, that'll be none other than Blair Davenport. But we shall see. But during the match between Kaylani Jordan and Kiana James, you hear the bell ring. I'm like, wait, the match ain't over. It was Roxanne Perez doing it to distract Kiana James. Kaylani Jordan did capitalize on it and picked up the victory and joining 3 other women in that matchup for the Iron Survivor. It's Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, and now Roxanne Perez. Not Roxanne Perez. Kaylani Jordan. But so Alpha Academy decided to challenge Metaphor to a mixed 6-person tag team matches, and they'll give them the end of the night to accept the challenge. So there's that. NXT Anonymous released a video where Trick Willis was getting himself ready for that fatal 4-way, and then Lexis King was standing by, and then he ran over and snuck attack, and everybody's saying that Lexis King was the one that attacked Trick Williams. Then Andre Chase, along with the rest of Chase U, that would be Thea Hale, JC Jane, and Duke Hudson, talked about the investigation where gambling and misuse of university funds. So that is going to really damage Chase U. Then the men's qualifier for the Iron Survivor Challenge happened. Eddie Thorpe versus Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker did win the matchup. Meanwhile, Trick Williams and Carmella Hayes just found out what happened, and they were upset. Lexis King, he says, "Well, we got to be smart about this." So there's that. The women's locker room will talk. Here's out Roxanne Perez. Listen, if I can't get in, neither can Kiana James, and then Tiffany Stratton interrupts her, but Ava Raine said that there'll be a second chance matchup for the Iron Survivor Challenge for the final spot for both the men's and the women's. And then Roxanne Perez says she's still got a chance. But then Tiffany Stratton runs her mouth, and then before you know it, Roxanne Perez attacks Tiffany Stratton, and then Kiana James attacks Roxanne Perez, and everybody's going at it there. Women can be very wild. Then Ilya Dragunov went one-on-one with Nathan Frazier. Heck of a matchup between these two European gents. But Dragunov did pick up the victory in the non-title matchup and decided to help out Nathan Frazier. And then, but before he can do that, Baron Corbin was addressing Dragunov and taunting him and all that and disrespecting him. Then Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Lyra Valkyria. Says she'll be watching the Iron Survivor Challenge, but also she's going to keep an eye on Lola Vice because she has that NXT Women's Breakout Tournament contract, and she can cash that sucker in at any time to challenge Valkyria for a women's title shot. Valerie Henley interrupts her and says, "Listen, if I'm going to be in that matchup, I'm going to try to win it." And then Tatum Paxley interrupts them. "Is she representing you?" No. She's cuckoo strange. Yeah, but good luck anyways. Thank you. So, and Carmen Petrovich cut a promo on Ariana Grace. Says that she's going to shut Ariana Grace up. I hope that happens. But we shall see. Metaphor did respond to Alpha Academy. He says, "We'll see you guys next week for the six-person tag matchup." And Joe Gacy was hiding underneath. Joe Gacy's gone crazy. I don't know what this boy was on. What this boy's on. But I'll tell you one thing. He basically, I think, threw a phone off a roof or something like that. In one promo, and in this second promo, he's under the ring. Does anybody care about me? Hey, good luck up there and all that. So Joe Gacy gone cuckoo. Then it was Carmen Petrovich versus Ariana Grace. And during the matchup, Joe Gacy comes out from under the ring, grabs the ring bell, and takes off with it. Why? So, but Ariana Grace did pick up the victory over Carmen Petrovich. Despite that little distraction, Gacy comes back and rings the bell. Has Gacy gone nuts? What's he going to steal next? Someone's jacket? I don't know. Is he going to steal a headset from Vic Joseph? I don't know. Joe Gacy, Joe Gacy's gone cuckoo. That's for sure. Then Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Wesley about the fatal four-way. He says, I'm going to go out high risk, high reward. Brooks Jensen went up against Lexis King. And Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes were watching the matchup, but Carmelo Hayes took off. So Trick Williams was like, where are you going, right? And then Hayes came out during the matchup, wanting Kings, but Josh Briggs is trying to calm him down. Didn't want Brooks Jensen disqualified, but Lexis King capitalized on the distraction and picked up the victory over Brooks Jensen. Meanwhile, Dominic Mysterio joined commentary for the main event matchup, the Fatal 4-Way, Wesley versus Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, and Johnny Gargano. In fact, Dominic Mysterio's idea to have three former North American champions, Wesley Lenz, he will face Dominic Mysterio at Deadline. Meanwhile, during the matchup, Ivar decided to continue his attack on Big Bronson Reed from last night on Monday Night Raw. But that gave Wesley the advantage, and Cameron Grimes, he beat Cameron Grimes and Johnny Gargano along with Bronson Reed to become the number one contender for the North American title. That match will be happening at Deadline. Rhea Ripley is no big deal, but to end NXT, always something happened in the parking lot of NXT, outside the Performance Center, as Kiana James and Roxanne Perez continue their brawl with security trying to separate these two Hellcats. That's for sure. Man. So, that is it. That's all the time we have on this show. Episode 1038 of Eric, or is it 1037? I think I'm right about that. No, 1038 of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977. Tomorrow we got the final Wild Wednesday of November 2023. And also, AEW Dynamite. We'll see what happens. Alright? So, until I see you guys on the next episode, until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. This concludes today's episode. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A big beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bova Telepictures and Distribution. See you next time on another episode of the show. Goodbye for now.